amides. Okay, so let us have. So here we have three classes of compounds which are derived from carboxylic acids, anhydrides, esters, and amides. So in order for you to easily understand, you just have to see yung functional group nila. Makinig pong mabuti ha. Makinig pong mabuti. So as you can see here, first one muna natin. So we have the carboxylic acid. Nakikinig po ba? In order for you to identify the three derivatives. So for the carboxylic acid, we have RC double bond OO. Ay, double bond OOH. So RCOOH. Simple as that. So here, in anhydride, so we have anhydrides. When we talk about anhydrides, there is two double bonds. Okay, two double bonds O. So RC double bond OO, C double bond OR. Kita po yung difference nila. Ito yung mga structures nila. Again, yung what you can see on the upper portion, the RCOOH, RCOCR, RCOOR, RCNH2 are the structures, yung functional groups. While ito yung mga names nila on the lower portion. And then yung naka-box is what has double bond O. We have two double bonds O sa carbon, di ba? First carbon, double bond O. Second carbon, double bond O. But what can you notice here? You can notice that in the middle of the two carbons with double bond O, there is oxygen as well. Okay, next. Esters. How can we identify the esters? So we have RC double bond OOR. Ang R dito is the carbon, the parent chain. So we have RC double bond OOR. See the difference between the carboxylic acid and ester. So the carboxylic acid has H. On the other hand, the ester has another R. R double bond OOR. Etong amide, madaling ma-identify. Kasi the amide includes the R, C double bond O, NH2. NH2, amino. Can you remember yung kanina, amino group, NH2, yan, NH2. So we have RC double bond NH2. So I would like you to remember the functional groups. How can we classify this into these different classes of compounds? So we have anhydride, ester, and amide. Okay? What do we mean by anhydride? So the functional group of anhydride is two carbonyl groups bonded to the same oxygen. Can you see the two carbonyl groups? Ayan po, double bond O, double bond O. Can you see the two double bonds? Yan, double bonds O siya, diba? So what is the difference between this compound into the other compounds? Kasi siya, si carbon, where there is double bond O, is bonded with oxygen. Sa gitna niya si oxygen. Okay? Identify niyo mabuti. I know it's hard. I know that it's very difficult to identify each functional group, pero iba-iba sila. Mukha lang silang magkakamukha, but they are all different from one another. Okay? Identify niyo mabuti before you answer. You have to identify, oh, this looks like it has two carbonyl group, and the carbonyl group has oxygen in between. Kasi baka mamaya, ano lang pala yan, ano lang yan, di ba? Halimbawa, dalawa lang pala yung double bond niya. So, mahirap. Kaya kailangan you have to analyze carefully. So, the anhydride may be symmetrical. Ibig sabihin, they have two identical acyl groups or mix. They have two different acyl groups. So, in order to name anhydride, you just have to drop the word acid from the name of the carboxylic acid from which the anhydride is derived. So, originally, kung titignan natin siya, so we just have acetic acid dito. Hindi tignan natin. If we are just going to name this one. But since it is already consists of two carbonyl groups, therefore, it is already acetic anhydride. Okay? Acetic anhydride. So that's the first one, anhydride. You can easily identify the two carbonyl groups which are bonded on the same oxygen. Diba? Kita nyo, same oxygen, there are two carbons, and then double bond O yung dalawang carbon. See? So I hope you easily identify the anhydrides. Next, phosphoric anhydrides. So the functional group of a phosphoric anhydride is 2-phosphoryl or P double bond O groups bonded to the same oxygen atom. So what do we mean by phosphoric anhydrides? Instead, okay, I would like you to listen carefully. Instead of having carbon, the double bond O is located on the phosphorus. Nagets po yun? Nasa phosphoryl siya. Are we clear with that? Nakita niyo yung difference? No? See? Ito, carbon, double bond O, oxygen, carbon, double bond O. Dito, you can see here, phosphorus, double bond O, oxygen, phosphorus, double bond O. So, this is an example of phosphoric anhydride. Why is it phosphoric anhydrides? Because there is 2 phosphoryl group. Ibig sabihin ng phosphoryl group, P double bond O, which is bonded on the same oxygen. So here we have diphosphoric acid or pyrophosphoric acid. We also have diphosphate ion or pyrophosphate ion. So we also have triphosphoric acid and triphosphate ion. So this includes yung mga phosphoric anhydrides which are bonded with 2 phosphoryl groups. Okay? Next, ester. So yun na, nakakaisa na 1 carboxylic acid derivative. 1 pa lang yun. Next, second one. Functional group of ester C double bond O bonded to an OR group. So both the epoch system and common names of esters are derived from the names of the parent carboxylic acid. So since these are carboxylic derivatives, you have to identify first yung parent carboxylic acid na. Okay? You have to identify first. So here you have to name yung alkyl or aryl group bonded to the oxygen first. And then you have to follow the name of the acid. And then replace nyo lang ulit. Yung IC acid, you just have to replace by ATE. So say for example, we have a cyclic ester which is called alactone. So tingnan natin. So ethyl ethanoate. Okay, you just have to replace yung ATE. How is it how can we identify? So if you will notice, it has a carbon double bond O. I would like you to look on the first structure, ethyl ethanoate. Nakikita po yun, ethyl ethanoate. Oh, what about others who are not responding? Oh, I'd like you to look on the first structure, ethyl ethanoate. So at first, we can identify first that we have 2 parent chains, diba? Parent chain siya. So we have ethyl, ethane. So we have here yung double bond niya. Okay, so we have carbon, double bond O, O. Tapos nakabond din siya with carbon, OR group as well. So that's why it becomes an ester. So in order for you to name an ester, you just have to replace yung IC acid by ATE. That's why it becomes ethyl ethanoate. So kung if we are going to name this as carboxylic acid, it will have ethyl ethanoic acid, di ba? But since it has a COOR na substituent or functional group, it will become an ester. So nagpalit tayo instead of OIC acid, it becomes ethanoate. Okay? Next, we also have diethyl pentane dioate. So why is it pentane dioate? Since meron tayong 2 carbon double bond OOR group. So why is it diethyl? Kasi we have 2 also na naka-attach na ethyl group sa kanya, which is bonded together with the carbons that we have. So ayan yung first one natin. So we have diethyl pentane dioate. And this one is a 5-membered lactone. So always remember, pag cyclic ester, pag closed chain, if it is a closed chain with double bond O and oxygen as well, like this one, ito yung constant niya na structure. Yan yung itsura niya. So, this is already a lactone. Lactone na siya agad. If you see this kind of structure, di ba, closed chain, 5 carbons or even 6 carbons, basta closed chain. And then it is consists of double bond O and then oxygen. On the instead of carbon, there is oxygen. Automatic, it's a lactone. Okay, cyclic ester siya, lactone. Next, amide. So we have the functional group of amide, which is a carbonyl group bonded to a nitrogen atom. So we have C double bond O instead of oxygen, instead of carbon. Ang kabond niya is si nitrogen. So here we can name an amide. You just have to drop the OIC acid pa din from the iopactame of the parent acid. Kasi before you have the itong mga derivatives that we are talking about, such as the anhydrides, the esters, and the amides, you just have to first identify the parent carboxylic chain or parent acid, tinatawag natin. So you have to drop yung OIC acid and replace that with amide, the term amide. So if the amide nitrogen is also bonded to an alkyl or aryl group, you have to name the group and show the location, no, of nitrogen by NN, ibig sabihin, by N, two alkyl or aryl groups by NN di. Pag N, only one. When NN, that means it already has two. Okay, two yung kanyang location. So let us find out. So we have acetamide. So first one, it is acetic acid, no? Acetic acid. And then we have, instead of acetic acid, we have to replace IC acid into amide. That's why it has an acetamide. Why is it acetamide? Since it has already a nitrogen attached to it. We also have N-methyl acetamide. So why is it N-methyl acetamide? Kasi we have one methyl attached to nitrogen. One methyl attached to nitrogen, and then yung CHR. Okay, CHR. And then we also have NN. Why is it NN? Because there are two methyls. Ayun yung two methyl CH3 and with parenthesis 2. So, two methyl siya. So, we have NN dimethyl formamide. Ayan, formamide. So, ito yung mga names sila. At first, this is a formic acid, no? Dimethyl formic acid. But then, since nga it is already an amide, you will replace the IC acid, OIC acid with amide itself. So, that's why it becomes NN-dimethyl formamide. So, mismo saan po galing yung formamide? So, usually ito, ginagamit siya for common names as well. Yung mga common names na yan. Okay? Next, cyclic amide is called a lactam. Again, what do you call the cyclic? Ayan, cyclic na anhydride. Ano ulit tawag natin doon? Cyclic. Yung kanina, cyclic. You call that one cyclic ester. Cyclic ester. Yeah, I would like you to message that on our chat box. Okay, very good pa. So we have the lactone, cyclic ester. Basta you see a closed chain, okay, with ester. So that means it's a lactone. So this time, lactam naman, if it is a closed chain, amide, cyclic amide. So lactam, papalitan niya lang siya. Instead of lactone, gagawin niyang lactam. Diba? Dami alam ng mga chemists natin. So, ayan. This is easily identified. Why? Kasi it is a closed chain siya with double bond O. Tapos, instead of carbon, meron nakalagay na NH. Can you see on your screens? Nakikita po on your screens. Diba? If normal na compound, walang NH dyan, carbon lang siya. So here, this is a cyclic amide because it's a closed chain with nitrogen also and a double bond. So it's an amide. So penicillins are examples of lactam antibiotic. So this is the structure of a penicillin. So this differs, or this is also a structure of the amoxicillin. So you can see the lactam ring nila. Why? Kasi the closed chain or closed na structure is attached with nitrogen. Okay, meron tayong amide na functional group, double bond O. So, Miss Ma'am, how can we know na it's an amide? You will see, it's a double bond O with nitrogen. Okay, double bond O with nitrogen. Nakita po ba yun sa penicillin? The penicillin, that is the closed chain structure for the penicillin, yung color red, while yung color blue is the closed chain structure of amoxicillin. Okay, as you can see, both of them have double bond O and attached to nitrogen. No? Ayan. So, that is the beta-lactam antibiotics. So, next, amides. The cephalosporins are also beta-lactam antibiotics. So, as you can see, cephalosporins are also part of, we can see also that in medicine. So, this differs also in the group of the carbonyl carbon. So, here, you can also see that there is a double bond O with nitrogen, and cefalexin, which is also a beta-lactam antibiotic. No, there is already an attached sa kanila na double bond O din with nitrogen. So, ito lang mga examples lang in order for you to easily identify what is the difference between their structure. Ayan. So, here and here. Okay, sa NN, saan yun banda? Dito? Ano po? Sige. Sige, tapos sila natin ta. Okay. So here we can see yung cephalosporins niya, which is also bonded with carbonyl group as well. So this is also an example of beta-lactam antibiotic. You can really see yung differences within the structure. Why? Kasi it has double bond O with nitrogen. So this is really an example of an amide. So this is a group which is also bonded on a closed chain. So we can really see yung double bond O together with the nitrogen group. No, that's why it's an example of an amide. Okay, so those are the three carboxylic acid derivatives. Let us go back now dito sa N, and N. Okay, we use N when the substituent is only one. Okay, one alkyl or aryl group. So, why is it N lang? Kasi, tignan nyo po, we have CH3, double bond C and H. And then we have CH3, only one methyl. Here, only one methyl. Unlike dito, sa kabila, we have NN dimethyl. Why is it NN? Kasi CH3 is already repeated twice. Ayun na naka-enclose sa parenthesis. So that's why it's an NN dimethyl. Ibig sabihin, there is two methyl or two substituent. Okay, are we clear with the N and NN? Okay, kumbaga the N and NN only shows us the location of the nitrogen and the alkyl groups or aryl groups. Okay, clear na tayo doon. So once again, isa lang N means one lang. Okay, it just has a one substituent. Pag dalawang N na, dalawang substituents na siya. Okay? So I guess that's the end of the carboxylic acids, but unfortunately, meron pa tayo na iwan na isang tawag ito, functional group. Kaya nyo pa ba